Sagittarius, how are you coping? I can see you have been through a hell of a lot. Ten of Swords to start the reading shows me that you've been absolutely stabbed in your back 10 times, down and out, but you triumphed through it. But that hasn't stopped you being trapped in an absolute war, battles left, right and centre. You've been imprisoned somehow. You've been imprisoned in a community, in a social group, around a load of other people. I can't work out if these people are for or against you, to be honest with you. Oh, toxicity's rising in this area too. But there's this adventurous energy coming out as well that you're kind of scared to approach. So we're going to crack the case, crack the code and discover what on earth is going on here. Wow, Sagittarius, 2 of Wands, 2 of Swords, 3 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords, Ace of Cups. You've got a lot going on. A lot going on. With the 2 of Wands and the 2 of Swords, it's just showing me there's a lot of indecision. There's a lot of decisions that have not been made. There's a lot of stuck energy whereby I want to say woe is me a little bit. I want to say there's no movement forward because you're not making a decision. You're not actively making change. You're not actively applying the lessons learned. I'm also getting the vision of a cheater. And with this image in my head, I get someone who's been cheating the system or someone who's cheated in a relationship. A cheater. A cheater can never change their spots is what I get. It's really saying to me that there needs to be hard work and dedication towards change. Nothing's ever going to change if you don't do anything about it. There's this thing going on right now where it looks like you're in a war, a fight, a battle, disagreements with karmic energy, and you're fighting all the time, and there's all these emotions and fears around a new beginning, but the new beginning can't just show up and present itself because you're not closing out old cycles. With the World card here coming out towards the end, with the King and the Queen, it shows that there needs to be decisions made from you to evolve and level up in your career, in your life. You need to make a commitment. You're not committing to anything that you do at this time. Woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. I feel so mean delivering this, but I'm just saying what I've got to say. I've got a small window of time to deliver the truth. And if I wanted to pussyfoot around this, I would say really nice, light, beautiful things for you. But with the 2 of Wands and the 2 of Swords, you want to break this prisoner energy that's going on. You're imprisoning yourself. You trapped yourself in a cycle. What I'm getting here is the TV show Prison Break. You see Michael Scofield in the TV series is constantly up against obstacle and cheat and crook and criminal at all these different levels. Everywhere you look, there's someone up to something, and there's side characters all have their own story. He's got a blueprint all over his body. There's a map of the universe available to you. But you're not paying attention to everybody else. A little bit of selfish energy coming in here because you're not seeing the bigger picture is what I want to say. I want to go straight to the ideology of the Sagittarius being Sagittarius stereotypes, right? In a shadow vibration is very, I'm beautiful, I'm perfect, I'm amazing, I'm great, just me, doing me, I am fiery and fabulous and the greatest that there is. And there is no external awareness of anyone or anything else. And they can be kind of labelled as cheaters, cheeky, underhanded, manipulative, and very self-focused, and that is it. That has to come to an end Firstly, that stereotype needs to come to an end, because stereotypes are the fucking worst. But the truth of the matter is, if that is your lower self or your lower vibration and the energy that you've been dealing with, where you're not even paying attention to everyone else in their life, what they're going through. I want to say, so self-obsessed. You're very obsessed about you and what you're doing, and you feel like what you're doing is the only thing that matters here. The reason Michael Scofield was so successful is because he was aware of the full blueprint. He studied all of it for many years, and he also understood every single person involved. Every other character he knew. He got to know, he spent time with, he built connections. Healthy relationships come from hard work and dedication. But being something in life comes from hard work and dedication. In life, you have to make choices and decisions. There is a lot of opportunity that you see. Intuitively, you know that this is a new beginning for you, one way or another, wherever you're at. But until you make a choice, you're going to be trapped in conflict, because you're not choosing a way to go in life. You're not choosing a career path or a direction. You're standing still in the middle of a stampede. So you're going to get knocked over every time and crushed to the ground and absolutely destroyed. You've been absolutely destroyed. You've had a lot of strength to make it through. I see someone's child's been crying a lot, if that's significant for you as well. Someone's child tried to run away. You need to review your relationship with money. You need to review your relationship with investing money in the right places. You need to watch your runaways in whatever way that resonates. So if that is a child who is prone to run away and say, I'm moving out, I'm leaving, packing up and just running away, you're going to want to do some protective measures to make sure that they can't just run away. You don't want to imprison the child. I don't know how old they are, but I'm getting loads of like child protection, safeguarding stuff in my head because that's my background. But it's like the locks on the door, are they high enough? Are you considering all the safety measures that are needed? Are you talking to your children about why it's not safe to run away? And more importantly, are you making your child feel safe enough so they don't have to run away? Because do they want to run away in the first place? If they are a teenager and they're going through that kind of phase, and a lot of trans children will just pack up and leave when they don't feel like they're accepted. Non-binary children as well, all children will go through those phases, but that does come to my mind a little bit, where when children are going through stuff and they feel unsupported, they'll just try and run away and start a new life with no awareness of how that works. And keep your money away from any of your children as well, and where you would normally put it in a safe, because I do see the potential for a child who is prone to be a runaway to take all of your money, steal all of your stuff and leave, and try and survive on their own. So kind of bear that in mind as well. But your destiny is your destiny, and it can only be activated when you activate it. And you're juggling. On one hand, I want to say there's this selfish energy, but I do want to say on the other hand, you're juggling other people's life like it's your life. Ten of Swords out again. You keep being defeated because it's like, and that cheater energy is still spinning around here as well. You're in a cycle of, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I'm going to take 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 this, I'm going to do 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 this, I'm going to juggle 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 this. And all the stuff you're juggling, none of it seems to be aligned to your destiny and what you're meant to be doing. So you're involved in other people's life, or giving your energy to other people. Your time is in the wrong place, your energy is in the wrong place, you're obsessing over the wrong things or obsessed over the wrong people, giving to situations that are totally unrelated to where you're meant to be going. So there seems to be a disconnect from what you're meant to be doing in your life versus what other people are meant to be doing in their lives. And if you could focus on your lane and what you're meant to be doing, as hard as it may be, you are never going to win by chasing someone else's reality and trying to apply it to your life. You have to find your way. Which is ironic for me to be sitting here as a tarot reader telling you this now. But if I'm speaking on you and this is a tarot healing story for you, this should make sense to you. But it's like you see a social media or influencer online, or you see someone do something online and immediately you jump on the bandwagon. I want to be like them. I want to do what they're doing. I feel like that's where I'm meant to be going in my life. But everyone has their own unique destiny. Yeah? Everyone has their own unique role to play. So there's this hoarding energy as well that I get. So someone's really hoarding something, holding on to something really, really tight. This is mine. This is mine. No one's ever going to get this. So you're not sharing whatever you're meant to be sharing because you're holding it so tight to yourself. And whilst you're holding whatever you've got to yourself, hoarding it all for yourself, there's this energy of you still taking and giving to other situations, but they're irrelevant to what you're meant to be doing in life. You're so far removed from where you're meant to be because you're conflicted about it, because your focus is on something else entirely, which gives me money, which gives me clout, which gives me relationships. It gives me you imprisoning yourself in things that don't involve you, but you feel like you should be here or dealing with this because this looks nice on paper. They're my type on paper energy. Wasting your time in an arena that is just... It's like being on... Not the best example, but the example I'm going to use today, because actually I don't really use social media like I used to, but I used to love looking at Jordan again, which is a really annoying viral moment from a really long time ago, which I'm sure he absolutely hates the phrase Jordan again. Who's Jordan again? Because that went viral on Foot Asylum many moons ago. And he came from Love Island originally. He was ruined on Love Island. His reputation was dragged through the mud. He left with not the greatest popularity, although he went viral. I mean, what is fame? What is popularity? What is celebritism? What do you really want out of this experience when it comes to something like Love Island, right? So he's gone on to Love Island, got blasted. He was dating Anna. It all went up in flames. He looked like a real fuckboy. Left, went on Foot Asylum, went viral on Foot Asylum for the girl not even knowing who he was. Like, for me as someone who does psychology, the hermatologist diving into the mind, when I see like influencers and stuff like that, you look at their body of work or their public persona, and for me, to see him go through all of those awkward moments, that must have been really shit for his mental health and really hard for him to be publicly in the press like that, and to be the impact of that on your emotions, really, really shit, right? Like, life, celebrity and viral life isn't what it's cracked up to be, right? So he's gone through all of that, and then to come out on the other side, well, I saw him like a year later after the Foot Asylum thing, and a year or two, and then I saw him on his own social media account, and he's a full-blown model now. And he, like, I don't think he's got dreadlocks anymore, but at the time he had dreadlocks. He looks so stunning, so gorgeous, so amazing, so beautiful, so powerful, so rich in spirit, in aura, in energy, so natural, so elegant, so authentic. He's just so sexy and divine. It was just so refreshing and so beautiful to see. Like, I'm a nerd. I like humans to flourish, right? I like studying humans and relationships and virality and social media and how we all respond in the now moment through life's ups and downs. And to see him go through what he did, and to see who he is now, and I guess who he's always been, and he should have never been on Foot Asylum, not his thing or vibe. Love Island really wasn't for him, and the girl he chose, not his vibe, but he went through all of that shit and came out, and he's like walking in some of the greatest runways ever, incredibly gorgeous. I love his style, funky. He's like alternative, just I just love his whole style. I love everything about him. Haven't seen him in years now, but the last time I did, I was just so impressed at how we all go on a unique journey and we're meant to evolve, and sometimes we end up in the wrong places, and he was in the wrong places. And it gave him virality, and it gave him traction, and it gave him some moments, but none of them were really nice. None of them really represented him. And he managed to find his way and do incredible. Some of the photo shoots I saw him in, some of the fashion, my jaw was on the floor. I love layering, I love fabric, I love textures. I mean, I was just bowled over. I said, look at this guy. How stunningly sexy is this guy? Gorgeous model, powerful, amazing, amazing, amazing evolution. So I just want to share that as I just go off on a tangent, because it's just so nice to see people elevate. And when I say sexy, I'm not even talking about being attracted to him in that way. I just say it as, that's a sexy life story. That's a sexy journey. That's a sexy evolution. That's a sexy destiny. That's a sexy purpose. Good for you. You broke the curse and you pulled away and you didn't conform to that life. You were never meant to be like them, were you? Because that's a certain, you don't fit into that ecosystem and community and that culture. That was never for you. And the way you got treated in that community was like shit, because you weren't meant to be there. So God was really blessing you over and over again, pushing you out of that environment, because look where you are at now, you stunning God. Keep going, right? And that is where you should be heading. But you haven't made a decision yet. I'm so sorry, Sag. All these twos, 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Swords, 2 of Wands. You need to make a decision. I don't think you even know what that decision is. Honestly. I think you've been so wrapped up in another world, in another life, in another reality, that you have missed the boat on your evolution. Because somebody else's evolution looked better than yours. Somebody else's evolution was more interesting. You could have been obsessed with an ex for like 4 years and stalked your ex every day. So in the window of times where you could have been studying and dating, learning about yourself, meditating, praying, picking up a hobby, learning a new skill, building your social media platforms, you were stalking your ex. That's just an example. And feel free to let me know I'm wrong. Feel free to bitch and complain about this reading in the comments, because it isn't pro Sagittarius today, I'll tell you that much. It's Sagittarius has been sleeping on themselves, and they're going to need to wake up. And it's not going to be an easy wake up, because you've been in a slumber for a long time. And I don't even know how conscious you are of the programming that you have that makes you keep doing this over and over again. You're cheating yourself out of a real life over and over again, because you think there's a glitch or a cheat code or a way round all of this. Life is about doing the work. No one else has the cheat sheet or the answers for you. You need to do the work. You're going to keep glitching out until you change your programming. You need to reprogram yourself. You need to head over to her 7D consciousness and start diving into the different content over there that encourages you to be mindful and meditate and listen to positive affirmations. You need to start reading books. You need to start journaling in new ways and writing about your life and what you've been through. You need to learn self-reflection. You need to start making peace with the past. You need to understand on a scale of 1 to 10, how selfish are you versus how selfless are you? How much do you do for other people versus other people doing things for you? Versus how much do you give versus how much do you take? On a scale of 1 to 10. Are you a giver or a taker? Start scaling this. Start understanding yourself. Feel free to click the link in the description for the Are You Flourishing survey, which really promotes positive psychological practices for you to understand how your psyche's working and where you're at in the mind. What's going on with you? There's so much more going on with you underneath the surface of all of these cards, which is much deeper than any conversation we could have today and any quick fix. Because I keep coming back to the understanding of, hold on, consciously, are you even aware of what you're doing? And how long you've been doing it? And how long that behavior has been ingrained in you? Because that is the cause of all the issues here. But you think you can find a quick cure or a cheat sheet or a way around it, or hone in on someone else's life or reality, give someone else words of wisdom or advice. You're using a matrix, a connect, a program, a narrative, a way of doing things that is so removed from who you actually are and what you're meant to be doing. So you're going to stumble and crash and fall on your face, like the Ten of Swords keeps coming out the deck for a reason. You've got all the skills, you've got all the tools, you've got all the know-how. You're not driving it into you. You're driving it elsewhere. It needs to be driven into you. You need to program you. You need to look at yourself with a harsher eye on you. You need to critique yourself. The win isn't I'm positive, I'm amazing, I'm great, I'm rich, I'm powerful, I'm doing great things in life, or I've achieved this or I've achieved that. That's not the win. The win, nasty to say this, not cute at all, is the win is often, I'm not enough, how could I do more, I want to be better, I need more in my life, how do I get to where I really want to go, why am I not achieving this, or why, it's the darker thoughts that you let come forward and push you to correct what's not working. So the narrative that you feed to yourself, if you've been told positive affirmations are the way and positive self-talk is the way, if you're telling yourself 24/7, 9 to 5, you are the shit and you are amazing and no one can ever touch you and you can do what you want and you're greater than everyone else, then where the fuck have you got room to grow? What have you got left? If the narrative you fill yourself with is completion, why are you still playing the game called life? How are you still alive? How are you still breathing? Because ain't no one on this planet complete if they're still alive. You're here for a reason. This planet is a school. You should be learning and experiencing as you go. So you're sitting here thinking you clocked the game and you're the best in this shit, but that can't be true. Because if you really were, God would have signed your contracts and signed off your hours. And you would have been given your retirement package and you would have ascended to the other side and went to your new life and new dimension. But no, you're still a muggle over here on Earth, you're saying. Earth is also a prison realm. Wake up. Sour grapes are on the table today. But it's true. We are all here to do something. If you're acting like you've completed life, then you're disrespecting God. And that's a problem for me, because the Ten of Swords, what happens before the Ten of Swords really take you out? You must have disrespected God to get the Ten of Swords. You must have disrespected God on more than one occasion to get multiple Ten of Swords. You've got 2 Ten of Swords coming out the deck. It ain't easy for one person to get 10 swords in the back. Not easy at all. Took some time to accrue all those swords for you to be flat out. So this is a real life assessment. This is a real chance for you no longer to be a prisoner of the self. Whatever technique or magic, mind magic, methods you've been using in your life, whatever you've been taught, not only is it outdated, old school, unauthentic. Like in my head, I'm getting a discipline that you learn in primary school. You may use an affirmation or a phrase or a quote or some slang that you learn in primary school. I still do weird things like that. But someone's built a manifesto or a life mission based off some kind of primary school manifesto. Like weird. Primary school, that's like elementary school. Like if you're in America, like primary, anywhere from the ages of 4 to 11. You came up with some ideology or belief system or some kind of concept about how to win in life, or some slogan, and you've ran with that all these years. And now, you being at the age you're at, that slogan doesn't work, but you still think it does. That slogan is a hindrance to everything you do every day you live and breathe, but you still use it. And then you wonder why you keep getting 10 of swords in your back, and why on earth you've got the 7 of swords around all the people you know, and why on earth you can't seem to get stable and grounded where you want to be in life. You keep coming back to a death cycle, and you keep coming back to 10 of swords. Serious hard graph. I'm looking at someone who's going to need a minimum of 7 years of true devotee worship, dedication to self-healing, self-improvement, self-reflection, consciousness, mindfulness, well-being, full overhaul of life and repair. You need to find God, whatever God that is for you. Allah, Ra, Jesus, Mother Gaia, Hinduism, Sikh, whatever it is for you, whatever pathway you want to go down, religion, spirituality, you need to find source. I don't know where your source is. I don't think you know where your source is. Because if you are using this manifesto that you have, this manifestation that you have, everything's connected to source. The person, this could be for one person, this is very, very specific and personal, but you can't tell me that you're Christian, you can't tell me that you're Sikh, you can't tell me that you're Buddhist, you can't tell me that you're Hindu, you can't tell me that you have a alt belief that is blah, 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 blah. You can't define your belief. You can't define who your God is at this time. You have no stabilized grounding in God, religion, or faith. Yet you're listening to me for over 20 minutes with tarot, and you're engaged in karmic energy, karmic flow, chi, manipulation, sorcery around materialism, trying to manifest, and from the time you're trying to manifest and build any kind of life, you're channeling energy. That's a God source without a defined God attached to it. So you're going to need to find God and attach God to it, and that comes through heart. Once again, the cheetah card's out, and that's coming to me in my head as well, the image of the cheetah, right, spinning around, which is that card of, you can't cheat God. God is the teacher here, the head teacher. He runs this school called Earth, and he's been marking the papers. You didn't get past him. You didn't cheat God. You could never cheat God. So reflect on your behavior if you're cheating other people in life, and know God's watching the whole time, and you can't cheat God. So the whole time you cheated your friend, you cheated your neighbour, you cheated your ex, you cheated your lover. God's just sitting there taking notes, recording everything that you're doing. And you think you're winning, and then you're back at the death card, back at the 10 of swords, back wrapped in 7 of swords, because God's weighing the ledger up there, and Dharma's real, and karma's real. And that's why you keep coming back round to this cycle. Find your God. Okay? Wherever it is, find your God. Go to church, go to the temple, go to the mosque, read some scripture, or find your own belief. Find your way. Please find your way. Share your story in the comments. Ask for advice in the comments. Get people to help you see the light, or where you need to go now, because you need help with finding that stable source for you to build your life off. You need source code to build your life. Someone's living on cheat codes. You go and listen to the cheat code source code reading I just done last week. You're living off cheat codes, but everyone in life needs source code to live and survive. If you can't live on cheat codes, you can't live on cheat codes, Sagittarius. What is the first? This is all I can say, because I feel so sad that this is even a reality for someone. What is the first religion you ever came into contact with? Start there. Go back there. What is your first ever beginning understanding of God? Go back there. understand what you learned there, and grow and evolve from there. I started with Christianity, and Christianity is a big part of my life. It always will be. I was so blessed to have the journey that I had in childhood with Christianity. I was very privileged to have Christianity in my life. Honoured to know how privileged I was in childhood. I went to a church school and I grew up from 4 years old to 11 years old, really installed with Christianity into me. But I kept asking the priest all the time and the head teacher all the time, but why can't we be born again? Why can't we be reincarnated? Yes, I'm Christian. Yes, I believe in Jesus, but I believe that parrots are born again. They talk. As a child, obsessed with parrots and the fact that they can repeat and talk like we do, I said that parrot has been born again. I said I have to understand another religion where animals are born again. And I was told then, well, in Hinduism, yes, they do believe that spirits are born again and we can be born again. And that was my first awakening. And I was very young, and luckily I spoke to the priest and head teacher, and I used to go to the church by myself, actually walk there from my house. No one else from many people from my school I would see in the church, but I would actually walk there just from my house and go to the church on the Sundays. And I've been to the priest's house how many times, because I'm just that random child that ends up in places. So the conversation was shown to me early on, well, Hinduism is what you're talking about. And imagine being a primary school student under the age of 11, probably about 9, in between 6 and 9, when I was going, there's something else that you guys are missing, guys, because I know that parrots are more than what you're saying. That parrot's been here before, I know it. Right? I don't even know whose parrot that was. I grew up with a lot of birds and family members having birds and parrots and stuff, and the parrot era was quite weird back in those days. Was that the 90s? The 90s and definitely the 90s, yeah. A lot of parrots and birds around in the 90s in people's houses, or what I was exposed to anyway. So yeah, interesting. But that guided me, and that stayed with me, because I evolved from Christianity. It's installed in me, will never budge. Holy Spirit awakened, and the Bible very close. But then I dived into Hinduism and the Bhagavad Gita, and that unlocked life for me too. Transitioning from church, which I still go to, but then to go into the temple, and even what to do in a temple and how that works, unfathomable experiences. I can't explain what happens when you go into a temple and you connect with deities versus what happens when you go and sit in a church and hear that mesmerizing scripture from the pastor, or you go to different kinds of churches. One of my favorite kinds of churches in adulthood is the CRC church. I went to one of the most amazing church experiences of my life, which was like a CRC church, Christian Revival Church. It was a massive harvest in a massive stadium arena. It was the most amazing experience in my life. I was born again during that window of time as well. It was the most rock and roll, wild, crazy church experience I ever had. It awakened me to a church that wasn't in like a cathedral or something very rich and proper, which was my upbringing, and all I knew is a church is a real church, you know. And then I were in a stadium rocking out with Bibles, a very different experience. So there is different faith in different places is the point. Sikhism as well, it's on the rise, very different beliefs. Islam also. A range of different faiths in the world, and no one is limited to understanding them in order to find self, okay? So I really hope that finds you well, and I think it's a beautiful time in your life if you choose to accept it. Please, Sagittarius, accept it. Write in the comments that you accept it, because even me and my heart chakra, I feel like I've spent half an hour here with you guys, but I feel like this is going to fall on deaf ears. Because if history is anything to go by, you're going to keep doing the same thing you keep doing, which is not making a choice and crashing back round in the same fucking cycle with the Ten of Swords and the Death card and the Seven of Swords as well. And all these twos. You're just looping back round and back round and back round. It's like you can't break this curse because you don't want to try. You don't want to commit. You don't want to put the effort in, hard work in. This is going to take minimum 7 years. So are you going to do it or not? That's the truth. And this isn't about me or you. Like, I'm fighting the cause for you today. Because I see the bullshit that spins back around. And this isn't self-fulfilling prophecy. So let me know in the comments saying, no, my life's great. No, I'm doing great. No, I'm going to do this. No, I'm getting better. Feel free to tell me otherwise. Because I don't like the idea that I'm telling you that this is your life and the way that you are. Hell no. Who the fuck am I? I don't know you. You tell me otherwise. Fix this shit, Sagittarius. Once and for all. So you can start unlocking the pathways, the maps, the characters in your game called life. Hit me in the comments, let me know more. And I'll be back soon with more. Love and light.